Hello everyone, and welcome to a Lying Plays. It has been quite a while since I've done one of these, but, well, my internet's really fuzzy right now, so this is actually fairly easy for me to do offline. This is a rather old game by the name of Creeper World, and you can play the demo of it online. I will have the link in the description. But you can also download the full thing for a rather cheap cost of around £9, I think, something like that. And it's basically a tower defense game. You're playing against these blue things on the left-hand side, which are spawning what's called the creep, which will kind of wash over things and build up like water. But you can fight back against it with blasters, mortars. There are spores that come in the air occasionally on some maps that you use with the SAM against. And then you've got your drones, which are sort of heavy artillery, but you can only use them every once in a while. You've also got all of these little handy upgrades, and your main thing is you need collectors and relays to pass energy from one thing to another, and just such as to feed ammunition to your blasters and stuff, or to actually build them on site. Now, first thing you'll notice on this particular map, which is one of the first challenge maps, is we're in this big low basin. This is a bad place to be, because the creep is going to flow over here rather unchallenged, fall down here, and then come all the way along here rather quickly, with at least 3 of them behind it. So what we can do, however, is we can relocate our base. So let's get that running, shall we? And for the sake of this being a particularly expedient video, I'm going to hit double speed, which I usually play with anyway. Just before we land, I'm also going to try and drop some collectors so we can get these upgrade nodules. And the first things I usually go for are 20% faster building and 10% more energy, but we should be able to get that third one eventually. And these little things, these kind of flowery things, are the totems, and we need to get all of those in a level powered before we can leave. That is to say, before we can complete the level. Creeper World's mythos, for lack of a better term, has it that the creep is appearing on many worlds and trying to basically wipe out all life. Which is a bit silly, because it's also described as being effectively indestructible. And yet, I spend almost every single level just having a single blaster by one of these spawners. But oh well. Okay, so we've nearly got our first blaster up. Now, I was rather surprised when I first played this level, because, as near as I can tell, you can win it with a single mortar and a blaster for each of these creep spawners. And I'll show you how just now, I think. Let's get our upgrade for more energy. Now, this is a fairly endearing game. I've played it probably since my school days. But I've only really played the, until very recently, I've only really played the actual demo on the site, because that was fun. And I got reasonably good at that. I haven't really checked everyone's score, so I can't say what is definably, like, the best you can possibly do. But, a lot of my playing on the demo version ends with me trying to make the prettiest shape on the map. And there we go, we've already managed to beat it back a step, so we can shift our blaster along as soon as this gets built. And have him sat up here, next to this creep spawner. Which is more or less defenseless already as it is. Okay, and there we go, that is one creeper spawner completely nullified. And hey, being Minecraft players, we all hate creepers, don't we? Okay, so yeah, they're all in a line down here. You can quite happily destroy one as you move along, and it's actually a fairly easy map. I was very surprised to find this in the challenge section. Well, actually, this is part of the conquest section. The challenge section is something else, but I suppose I can get into that in another video if you guys like this enough. Okay, let's get another couple of blasters readied. Now, the blaster is, as you can see, it's kind of point defense. It has a fairly large ammo supply, and it can attack things pretty damn quick. The mortar is a lot slower, but it's an area effect, has higher range than the blaster, which I can demonstrate. See that kind of range versus that kind of range. The mortar is meant for more of these deeper areas that you see near the trench that we were initially in. Okay, let's plunk you down there. You need a bit of help, because you're running out of ammunition. but yep, the creeper's receding. There we go. Now, one thing I am going to do is get a speed upgrade. And what that does is, you see all these little red and grey and whatever dots that are floating between my collectors, those are the energy packets. And the speed upgrades increases the speed of all packets on the network. And that's one of the ways I've described this game beforehand, is actually, completely suppressing and destroying an indigenous alien species using a network diagram. Which, if you're a student in England, as near as I can tell, you will inevitably learn how computer networks are drawn out, because I've had to learn that a few different times. Which does get a little bit on the boring side of things eventually. Ew, it's only 7 minutes in so far, that's remarkable. And one of the important things I have noticed is you can push pause, and it freezes your mission time. But it also allows you to still place things, so we can have our network expand whilst we're in pause without actually losing any time or having the creep or anything expand. Which is very handy, because it means you can sort of set things up, and on more than one occasion I've set up my entire expansion for a given map just inside of the pause before anything's actually started up. And oh dear, we're kind of falling behind a little bit there, and our water's taking a bit of damage. One of the things you do have to be careful of is the creep appears sporadically, but when it does appear from the spawners, it is rather strong. So let's get a blaster up there just to support things. And let's get our network over to the Odin City a little bit stronger. Stronger than we can manage, at least. There we go. Misplaced. And there we go, things are moving quite happily again. Once this blaster starts getting ammo, we should be able to move things down a bit more. Yeah, there we go. Practically conquered. Yeah, once you've gotten all the creep away from a spawner, you've got a single blaster next to it to come to handle whatever comes out of it. You've more or less just perfectly preserved the map. It's very strange. That seems like that would be something that they should kind of work on preventing, but I don't know. Okay, and now we then move on to our final adversary, as it were. If I'm a little bit quiet, it's because I am concentrating. Believe it or not, from how quickly and easily I've kind of handled this map. So there's the creep receding, because we're destroying it faster than it can generate. And suddenly things become quite a lot quieter. So let's just stick our mortar over there. We actually probably want him over here, because I want to shift this over a bit so it can directly attack the spawner. There we go. And now we can build to our leisure. So let's grab this final rift totem and we'll be out of here, I think. Yep, and happily up it goes. We have no worries about our energy. You can see it's sticking there quite happily near the 20. You can expand that using storage, so you can have like 400 energy in storage. And if you run out of energy at any point, which I don't think we have, then the city starts putting out packets very sporadically, and things just don't really build that quickly. Which is also a problem when you've got a pretty heavy defense line. But there we go. Parts unconnected to the city lose power. And in 12 minutes, with some rather sporadic levels there, but it will, on Grim number 5 for a score of 8,319. And if you happen to have the full version of Creeper World, by all means post your scores on this map in the comments. Bear in mind I've been doing commentary on this whole thing the entire time, so my score may not be absolutely stellar. And let me know what you think about Creeper World, because I wouldn't mind all that much doing more videos on this. So until then, hope you've enjoyed Lying Plays, and I shall catch you next time.